Did you see
Hello.
it?
I did, yes. Every week it's still cool to me. And the little
No, but
music that goes with it. What?
it's new.
Well, isn't it the one you sent me like a little bit ago to look at?
Oh yeah, that one. But it's still
Oh,
new.
sorry. I was like, wait a second, is it new from like a couple hours ago or is this okay?
It's
Um,
what happens when you get excited and you send things to everybody in the marketing team.
that is probably true. That is probably true.
I love
Um,
it. Tell us about your day. Look at you. You're just ready, Freddie. I know you've been doing a lot today.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I've done a lot. I've been watching a lot. I'm at this thing called Aspire, 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 and it's very interesting. So it's a lot of entrepreneurs speaking on, their experiences, giving tips and tricks on like what worked with their businesses. Um, it is very good, and I'm learning a lot of things. And I apologize for shaking. I'm doing this on a phone, so whatever, people can deal with it, I guess. But so like this morning was Kevin O'Leary, and then this afternoon was Robert Herjavec, both from Shark Tank, and then there was miscellaneous people in between. The problem was is they were talking in billions. Get my point? They weren't talking about startups and like what happens to get your feet wet and get a business started and all of that. And sometimes we heard their startup stories, but it still wasn't the same. They were talking in billions. And so there were a lot of good takeaways, but some of it was a little, way over my head at the moment. And I think a little bit of over everybody that you and I work with right now head. Does that make sense? Like, I would love to talk to you about billions someday, but it's not going to be right now. So,
Right. It's a crawl to get to billions. And yes, we will
yeah,
get there and we will be
we will.
there.
We
But
will.
we've got to start with the origin story that took 10 years. Maybe not.
Exactly.
Could take 1 year.
Um,
Depends.
Well, one of the stories they told is about this guy, and I'll get you his name some other time because I can't remember right now. But he put $2,000 into some investment account, and within 3 years, he had it up to $3 billion. And I'm like, if that was something people could replicate on a day-to-day basis, like it's not that easy. I don't know what he did, but it can't be that easy. And so, yeah, but I did type you a couple of takeaways that I wanted to talk about or bring up on the call. So one of the things that was kind of what's the word I want, like an overarching theme was you can't learn when you're talking. So you need to shut up and listen. And I kind of I kind of forget that sometimes because I do tend to talk a lot. And And I think when you come into that coaching and consulting world, talking seems to be the thing you're supposed to do, right? But sometimes I guess you do have to just step back and kind of think about things and listen. What do you think about that, first of all?
Well, I give my clients all the time to talk.
Well, yeah, I get the point though. Like, if what's the word I want? If the client's paying you for your time and they want to talk the whole time, that's great, right?
Yeah.
Or
And
if
it
they want to just ask your advice, that's great too.
comes into, I'm an accountability partner, so a lot of the first 45 minutes is people coming in with their stressors, what they didn't
Sure. So
accomplish,
it's
how they didn't do it. And so
a little
like
bit of a word vomit and like
yeah, I
sure.
get the word vomit because I'm that safe space.
Right.
Right? Other people, you're consulting on business and moving, you're consulting on this is the business going forward and
Mhm.
this is where you need to be. So when they come in to talk to you, they're talking about the to-do list, right? The things and the
Right.
stuff. I get the part of, well, my accountability wasn't there because of this. And
Ah,
so
a little bit
there's
different.
a
Yeah.
right, there's a huge shift in that conversation. And but both ways, yeah, you have to give everybody time to speak so that you can be on that ground floor of where are you and how do we get you to the next level. Um, and we get into this a lot. Sometimes in a group accountability, we have people who will answer a question and they'll answer like way above and beyond the question, right? And we have to
Sure.
roll that in. Or we have people who want to help and they, as much as you want to say, yeah, that was helpful, you have to come in with,
Or or
or
yes,
other
yes,
people's
sure.
opinions. But it's very important for listening. And we were talking about that in the ethical group,
Mhm.
right? In New Reality, there's a whole ethical conversation going on. And if you don't listen, then you're not sure really how to coach or how to consult because you can't help somebody that you don't know the integral part of what's going on.
And part of listening, one of the things that we did discuss this week is not just listening with your ears, it's listening with to body language. So it's observing as well as listening in those situations, in those ethical situations. Because a lot of times people won't tell you up front what they're feeling, but you can see it in their face. You can see it with their crossed arms. You can see it with or hear it with their tone of voice and not necessarily their words. So, yeah, definitely. Um, so listening was a really big thing today. I texted you one other thing I wanted to talk about, and now I'm on my phone and I can't click over to it. What was the other thing? I know. I was
It
very
was
prepared in my process, but then I forgot what the process was.
shut up and listen.
Mhm.
And then the fear people have around talking about money.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
So
I'm going to start with this
go ahead.
because you started with the problem is they were talking about billions, which
And it
is
could be
never a problem.
correct.
It's
Right. Nobody
just
has a
that
problem.
mindset.
Right. Nobody has problems talking about billions, right? Like, sure, if I had billions, I'd tell the world I had billions, right? And but one of the things that came up with talking about money, and I'm going to use myself as an example. So there are things that you can talk to friends about. So I think it was yesterday or the day before, I asked you about New Reality, and you were like, "Yeah, it's like 25 bucks a month or something." And I said, "Well, right now I can't do that. I have other things in my finances that need to balance out." No, you're like, I have no problem with telling that to you, telling that to the world, right? That right now I can't add another $25 to my business budget. No big deal, right? However, some people are afraid to say why they're starting a business. And that's what we talked a little bit about today. Why are you starting your business?
My business is going to purchase me a house.
You exactly, right? So you started your business to make money, right? So many people are like, well, I started my business to help people. I'm going to make the world a better place. I'm going to, like, and they come up with all these, like, esoteric, like, things that they think people want to hear. The bare basic reason we want to start our own company is for two reasons. One, you want to get out of the rat race of whatever you were in before. And two, you want to make money, right? We need money to live. I mean, you and I have had this conversation in some ways over the last few months because things have happened in my life, things have happened in your life that have kind of screwed up how money's coming in, right? And it's like we have to start talking about the things we need and not live in some fantasy world that people don't need money. We're running businesses. Like we need money, right? And that's where, like, even with Samantha, when she wants people to like look at her website and make sure things are correct, that's the way to do it. Double check. Is your pricing things that people would pay for, right? Is your pricing um, consistent with what other people are going to have? But that's also a money conversation, right? When you put your pricing on the page, everybody in the world that looks at it knows how much you're getting paid. I've lived in the nonprofit world for the last, 15, 20 years, and it's on paper. Like you can go like Google what well, maybe not Google, but you can look up the 990 and find out what I got paid at most of them. And I'm used to people knowing that, But it is kind of interesting how some people are afraid to talk about what they need and that money factor of their life.
And I love that because that brings in the Wealthy Wednesdays, right? That
Oh,
Davika
sure.
runs. That mindset shift around what is your relationship with money? Because money, it's a relationship.
It is.
You can choose to hate it and choose to fight it, or you can choose to embrace it and go on dates with it and create things with it.
Yes.
And I love that thought process, but I really like what you said, and it's been a conversation all week with some different stuff that I'm doing where people are trying to find purpose. And the fluffy, I'm going to cure world hunger, or I'm going to cure, the oxygen and all of those things. You can't do anything if you don't start here. If
Correct.
you don't start with yourself and then with your community and move and set an example, you can't cure any of those things. If we
Nope.
don't set examples of how we should be and what we should be and teach and learn and grow, you're not going to be able to be in that space. And so when you create a business and when you talk about money, I told you, my business is buying me a house. I'm
Right.
36. I have been renting. I have been a single mom my entire adult life. I have been a single mom and I have rented and paid for other people's mortgages.
There you
My
go.
business is mine. I used to work for other people. My money is going to come and purchase my home and not other people's homes. It's not other people's money getting paid to me. It's mine.
Exactly.
And what I do in my business is I am an amazing, creative, supportive master of creation
No
that
doubt.
helps and pushes all of my clients and all the people I network with to so many levels. That's the fuzzy warm part of who I am, but I'm that for my kid, for my everything. And
Right.
so I love the fact that when you can embrace, yeah, this is going to make me money. This is my money. I earned it, and it's going
I
to
don't
go
have
into my household.
exactly. You don't have to answer to anyone else, but your when you have your own company and you're doing your own thing and it's your own money, that is the why behind it, to make your life better, right? And having a solid income. And I joke about billions, right? Like it would be great to make billions, but to have a solid income that gives you what you want and when you want it and something that you can scale, which is exactly what you're building and what I'm building. And knowing that security is just around the corner is a great feeling. I wish I had the feeling right now that it was right here and now. We'll get to that point, but knowing it will happen is even a little bit of a security blanket in and of itself. Knowing that I'm building something that's going to make me financially secure.
Yep. And I
And it's
want
yeah, go ahead.
oh, no, what were we gonna say?
No, that was it.
Okay, I was gonna say, I also want people to understand that when you're pricing yourself, have worth for yourself.
Yes,
Understand that your prices are worth what they're worth. When you price a package, my highest package is $3,000. If you
sure.
pay that package in advance, it's 2,500. It's a 90-day package and
Mhm.
it's $3,000. Why? Because you get 90, what's you get 12 weeks of 2 hours of my time where your business will expand and flourish in not just your business, it's going to be you who expands and flourishes inside of your business.
But
And
you're
that,
helping them establish those goals and
yeah,
holding them accountable for those goals. And in those 12 weeks, they're going to see growth in their company. They're going to see $2,500 worth of growth at the end of those 3 months because that's what you do.
yep.
That's what you bring to the table, and it's worth it, and you know your value. And you've seen it be successful too. It's not like you're just like, oh, by the way, I think I'm worth $2,500 today. No, you've seen it be successful. Sometimes when you start out in things, you may price yourself too low at the beginning.
I
That's
started at
lessons
25
learned.
an hour.
Lessons learned, right?
which is why
Right?
I always tell everybody nothing below 35. You will not go
Right.
anywhere.
Right. Because you did that and you're like, wow, my time is worth way more than this, right? I could get a part-time job that I'm making $25 an hour, not running my own dang business. And so, yeah, exactly, 100%. Know your worth, and know why you're doing it. And your why is not to save the world. Your why is to make your life better. So
I love
at
that
least that
so
should be your first
much.
one. So anyway, I know I talked a lot on this one, and we really didn't talk about
With I've snuck
accountability so much
accountability in
time.
there everywhere.
Okay, good. And I know we gave Davika a shout out, so that's good.
And New
Um,
Reality.
that's true.
And Samantha, we talked about her.
We talked a little bit about everybody. Look at
We
that.
accomplished a lot.
Um,
And we got a new intro and outro.
and my little QR code thing is updated.
Oh
So
yeah, we got that updated too.
look at that. We did a lot of stuff this week.
We've done
That's good.
everything.
Yeah.
All
Whew.
right, everybody. QR codes are updated. Everything is good to go. Go book with us. Talk to us. Really establish a mindset around money that you're worth it and that it's your best friend. It should be
100%.
your best friend. And also, billions are possible.
100%. Have a great day, everyone.